For as long as Walter could remember, his nights had been restless. At 75, he expected some changes in his body, but what truly wore him down was waking up 3, sometimes 4 times to shuffle toward the bathroom in the dark. Each trip left him colder, more awake, and less likely to fall back into the peaceful sleep he longed for. He tried drinking less water, adjusting his medications, and even wearing extra layers to keep warm, but nothing seemed to help. The constant interruptions were starting to shape his days. Mornings felt heavy, like he was walking through fog. His memory wasn't as sharp, and his patience with his wife and grandchildren wore thin. He stopped driving long distances because he was too tired to concentrate. Nights became something he dreaded instead of a time of rest. One evening, while sitting at the kitchen table with his daughter Clara, he confessed how hopeless he felt. She listened quietly, then leaned closer. "Dad, I read about something unusual," she said. "There's this herb people are talking about. They say if you take a small amount before bed, it helps them sleep straight through without running to the bathroom all night." Walter raised an eyebrow. "Another internet remedy?" He had grown skeptical after trying teas and supplements that promised miracles but offered nothing. "This one's different," Clara insisted. "It's not a blend or a pill, just one herb. People say it works." That night, curiosity got the better of him. Clara handed him a small jar filled with dried leaves of a herb she had bought at a local market, parsley. Walter had always thought of it as nothing more than garnish, but Clara explained that parsley had been used for generations to support the kidneys and bladder, and some seniors swore by it for easing nighttime urination. Skeptical but willing, Walter agreed to try. Clara prepared a simple infusion, a spoonful of dried parsley steeped in hot water, left to cool until it was warm but soothing. Walter drank it slowly an hour before bed, the taste mild and earthy. He shrugged, not expecting much. The first night surprised him. He woke only once, compared to his usual 3 trips. When he returned to bed, he fell asleep almost immediately, something that rarely happened before. In the morning, he felt unusually refreshed. Encouraged, he repeated the ritual the next evening. This time, he slept all the way through until morning. He opened his eyes to sunlight streaming through the curtains, shocked by the stillness of his night. It felt almost unnatural not to stumble out of bed in the dark, yet deeply liberating. As days passed, Walter kept up the parsley tea. Each night seemed to restore him more deeply. His mornings no longer began with yawns and groans, but with a clear mind and a steady body. He felt strong enough to return to his woodworking shop, where half-finished birdhouses had gathered dust. His laughter grew louder around his grandchildren, and he found himself joking with Clara like he hadn't in years. Word of his discovery spread. When Walter mentioned it to his neighbor George, who often complained about the same nightly bathroom trips, George was skeptical but agreed to try. A week later, he admitted he, too, had started sleeping longer stretches. Soon, more of the men at the senior center were discussing it, swapping stories of how one simple herb had returned the kind of sleep they thought was gone forever. Walter marveled at the simplicity of it all. For years, he had thought only medicine could solve such problems. Yet here was a natural answer that had been sitting quietly in kitchens for centuries. It wasn't a miracle in the sense of magic. It was a reminder that sometimes the body responds best to gentle, time-honored remedies. Clara smiled whenever she saw her father looking rested. "You're proof that small things can change everything," she said. Walter agreed. The herb hadn't just cured his nights, it had given him his days back. The fog of exhaustion had lifted, replaced with clarity, energy, and the joy of living fully again. Each evening, as he sipped his parsley tea, he felt gratitude rise in him. What had started as a desperate hope had turned into a nightly ritual, one that carried him into long, unbroken sleep. For the first time in years, Walter no longer dreaded bedtime. Instead, he welcomed it, knowing he would wake to a new day, refreshed and whole. For him and many others, this one humble herb had become more than a remedy. It was a quiet miracle, restoring something precious they thought had slipped away forever, the deep, peaceful sleep of a life at rest.